What's up, fragrant world? Welcome back to another Stay Fresh production. It's designer time. We're talking about my top 10 designer fragrances for the winter 2019-2020. If you missed the niche top 10 video I made for winter, check it out here. I got some great recommendations there, but it's mainly based around what I will be wearing this winter. And the designer fragrance list is structured in the same way, except I tried to hark back to other lists that I've done in the past where these fragrances are ordered more so in the order that I think I'll be wearing them, in terms of what I'll be wearing the least to the most. Now, it doesn't mean I dislike number 10 the most and I like number 1 the most, so to speak. This is just in terms of utility and functionality for my everyday life. Just trying to formulate what I think I'll wear, but we never truly know. And like I've done in the past, maybe I'll do an update video just to show you later on, a few months down the road, what I've actually been reaching for in terms of designers. But we're gonna jump in. I got a couple of new additions to the collection, which I'm really thrilled to share with you. Nothing new to the community, so to speak, but new to my channel. We're gonna start off with number 10. You have to excuse me, my voice is a little bit hoarse. I'm actually a little bit sick. I'm not full-fledged there. I think my body's fighting it off pretty good, but there's a little bit in there. Number 10, my only fragrance from the house of Coach. And the reason why this is number 10 is because it carries quite a bit of freshness and aromatic nature to it. And it's a great fragrance to wear when you do want something that's fresh and aromatic, but it's still gonna have a little bit of a richness and a sweetness that is, you know, what we think about when we think of winter fragrances, something that is deeper and richer, sweeter usually. And this has a little bit of both. I would put this in my aromiental category, which is something I kind of came up with. I don't know if I'm the first one to talk about it, but at least maybe the first one to call it by this name. I'm blabbing. This is from the house of Coach, and this is Platinum. I believe this came out last year, if not 2 years ago. I think last year, 2018. And it's a nice scent. It is, again, fresh and aromatic. It has a bit of an ambroxan nature to it, similar to like your Dior Sauvage, kind of peppery and spicy. I think there's black pepper in here as well, which is kind of like Sauvage too. But this has a hefty dose of pineapple and vanilla. So it's sweet and spicy and fresh. It's a nice combination, really easy to wear. Nothing crazy off the wall unique. Obviously, I just mentioned it smells like Sauvage. It even reminds me a little bit of Mont Blanc Legend with that pineapple note, but it's an easy one to wear. If I want to wear something fresh, I'm not in the mood for something too rich and deep, I can throw this on. That may not happen all that much during the winter. This is why it's number 10, but I think it's a fragrance worth mentioning if you're looking for something easy to wear, crowd pleasing, and has decent performance. That is going to be Coach Platinum. All right, here at number 9, we have an old school fragrance here. This one takes it way back. We're talking from 1986 is when this fragrance was released. You don't hear much talk of it. I heard Ashton mention it a few times on his channel, Gent Sense. I think I just saw Mark Robes 08. He put out his little Pop the Cherry series. He put out a video on this one recently. And it's one I've had my nose on for the past couple months, and it's really been pulling me in. There's something about it. It definitely smells like the 80s and those fragrances. I have it on my hand. Man, it has that muskiness, that animalic muskiness that you kind of expect from fragrances in that era. This comes from the house of Davidoff. A lesser known fragrance, like I said. This is called Zino. All right. Composed by Michel Amarac, who is an incredible perfumer with a great long resume. He did Dior, Fahrenheit. He did a bunch of fragrances from Chloe. He did a bunch of stuff from Bottega Veneta. He did Bentley Fermin Absolute. I think he did the original Gucci Pour Homme, if I'm not mistaken. Quite a resume, and this stuff is interesting. Again, very old school, has a little bit of a balsamic sweetness to it. It's earthy with this patchouli. There's some vanilla and woods in there, which makes it not so vintage. It kind of makes it this modern woody sweetness that you smell in other things, but that patchouli is pretty upfront, which is something that we smell a lot in older fragrances. And it's nice. It's kind of more of a upscale fragrance to me. I can only really pull this off if I'm dressed to impress, in my opinion. This is definitely an older man's fragrance, but if you're interested in that, I think you can pick it up from most discounters like FragranceNet for pretty cheap. This is a 100 ml bottle, but this is 125 milliliters, but they do make smaller bottles. If you're looking for something vintage that's nice and, you know, nostalgic, but also not too dated, check out Zino from Davidoff. Okay, coming in at number 8. This fragrance is pretty low on the list because I have another fragrance that kind of already plays its role in terms of a sweet scent, like a very youthful, fun, playful, sweet fragrance from the house of Gucci. This is Gucci Guilty Intense. I've talked about this before. This bottle always reminds me of Batman, something like that, which is cool. You know, nothing special. Nothing special at all. You don't hear anyone talk about this. It's, you know, lavender and amber and maybe tonka bean. It's sweet and it's fresh, and that's all I really get out of it. It doesn't have any kind of interesting wearing experience. It's something that you can throw on and you know that people are gonna like it, and it's gonna project, and it's gonna last a decent while, 7 to 8 hours on the skin. A good night out scent, a good no-brainer night out scent as well. I don't think I'll be reaching for it all that much because there is one fragrance new to my collection that fills this realm of sweet and playful that I just like a little bit more. In fact, there's a couple of them. But this is still a nice scent, not bad. Not fantastic, but not bad. At number 8, that is Gucci Guilty Intense. At number 7, this fragrance is only this low because it doesn't really encapsulate the feeling of the winter for me in terms of this scent. This is more of a fall scent to me, but still beautiful, still warm and earthy, and something that I wear for myself. That's a lot of the time when I'm by myself. Maybe if I'm just lounging at home for the day, which never happens these days, but if it does, maybe I'll throw this on just to kind of reflect and feel grounded. From Bottega Veneta, this is Pour Homme Extreme. You've seen me talk about this one before. I really enjoy this stuff. This is high quality stuff for a designer. Now, in terms of designer prices, this one is on the pricey side. You're looking to pay sometimes over $100 even on discounters for this stuff. And again, I think it might be because it's discontinued. Kind of hard to find. You can still find it, but finding it discounted, really discounted, is kind of tough. If you can, I'd say go for it. If you're looking for an earthy gentleman's fragrance based around leather and patchouli, it's so nice. Again, I'm looking for something a little bit more rich and maybe even more sweet for the winter, but this still has to make the cut. I know I'll be reaching for this at least a little bit. That is Bottega Veneta Pour Homme Extreme. At number 6, I'm probably gonna be deemed a blaspheme for this one being this low, even though it's not that low. We're about halfway through the list, but this is a beloved scent. A lot of people swear by this, especially for the winter time, and I am on my way there. It's new to my collection, and that's why it's this low. And also attributing to that is it's a very particular scent. It's not something I can wear all the time. I might wear it tonight, we'll see. I have a gig this evening, so I might throw this on, but this is from the house of Dior, and this is Dior Homme Parfum. Yes, if you're in North America, then you understand how difficult it is to get a bottle of this stuff. I actually was connected to a guy via Instagram from another guy, and I feel really grateful to have gotten this connection. He had it for a great price, and I said, hey, I'll pull the trigger so I can have it. And this one, wow. This one is replacing Dior Homme, the original EDT, for my list this winter. If I didn't have this, then Dior Homme would probably be in this spot, but this one just fits the bill for winter so much more, much deeper and richer. It has some oud in it, has a bit of an animalic touch to it. It's kind of skanky, but it makes it a little sexy when you wear it in the right amount and proportion. If you don't put too much on, it really wears well. A lot of iris. I think there's rose in here. It's kind of smooth and creamy. It's sweet, but it's also very waxy and kind of makeup like as you get from iris. Very elegant stuff. I can only really wear this when I'm dressed up at night. So that might be my scent of the night, but here at number 6, I'll get as much wear as I can out of Dior Homme Parfum. This is good stuff. Try to get a decan if you've never smelled it. I highly recommend it. Now here at number 5, again, this is going to be further blasphemy. Some of you might be like, how is this above Dior Homme Parfum? Justin, what has happened to you? Are you okay? I'm still trying to figure that out. I think I'm okay. But there's something about this stuff I really like. I've always liked this fragrance. From the first time I smelled it, I had a decant 3 or 4 years ago. I was so intrigued by it. I would always come back to it. I'd never wear it out, but I would always spray it and smell it and be like, man, this stuff is so good, but I feel like I shouldn't wear it because it doesn't fit me. But I've been so intrigued by it for so many years, and I've just made the decision to be like, you know what, if there's things that I've been thoroughly drawn to for a long time, then I might as well just go get them. Why not? Gotta live your life. And that's why we have Ultra Male, whatever you want to call it, from Jean Paul Gaultier here. Man, this stuff is great. I like it. The thing I like about this is that it's super sweet and playful, but I like to wear it in small amounts. I might put on 2 sprays of this. And so it creates this really beautiful and subtle, playful aroma instead of this large, loud, boisterous aroma if you put on like 5 to 7 sprays, which I don't think I'll ever do with this one. I wear it sparingly in terms of the amount I put on, but because I wear so little of it and I make sure it doesn't scream, then I can wear it more often to more places. I can actually make this one pretty versatile. I can wear it down during the day if I wanted to. You know, I can wear it to work. I could put on 1, 2 sprays and it's going to be really pleasant and very inviting, but it's not going to be too in your face. I dig this stuff. Vanilla, lavender, pear has a real sexiness when it dries down. I like how Dallas put it from Chaos Fragrances. He said the vanilla note gets kind of like a roasted feeling, and I totally agree with that. I get the same vibe from Leighton from Parfum de Marly when it dries down. I get that same vibe from here, but this is more on the designer side, more playful, more youthful. I dig it. That's just me. That's Ultra Male. Not crazy about the bottle, never have been, but hey, it's about the scent inside. I think it's decent. Here at number 4, a fragrance I'll always be wearing when it's cold out. When I'm looking to be inviting, maybe even seductive. It's kind of part of the nature of this scent, and this is Nuit de l'Homme. No stranger here. I wear this one as much as I can. I find it pretty versatile. It does have a freshness to it, which makes it a little bit more versatile, but that sweet, spicy cardamom with that caraway and the, man, it's so good. It's good stuff. I can wear it at night. I could also wear it in the day, but I normally wear it at night. And I usually wear it casually at night. I like this stuff a lot. Not my favorite for the winter. There's other ones I'll be reaching for, obviously, but this one's still good. Nuit de l'Homme from Yves Saint Laurent. Okay, number 3, a staple in my collection and to my channel. I try not to hype this fragrance, even though I talk about it so much, probably giving it away already. But it just speaks to me. It resonates with me, and that is the whole point of my channel, is to share the things that I discover and that I love. And sometimes the things I don't really like too. But I'm really just sharing my journey with you guys. I'm not saying you need to go get this fragrance because X, Y, and Z. I'm not saying this fragrance is amazing while this one is terrible. Don't even smell it. My goal is to share my journey with you, see if our journeys align from time to time, and talk about the space in between. You know, that's what it's all about. John Varvatos Vintage. You already know if you've been watching my channel. This stuff is so great. It speaks to me. That gentlemanly nature is so nice. Suede leather, that touch of like a bitter sweetness with the rhubarb. You know what? I actually re-reviewed this fragrance with TLTG Reviews. Ross, my boy Ross, you should go check it out. I'll link the video down in the description. We actually shot the video while we were at Scent Explore, and I realized I never actually made mention of it on my channel here. I mentioned it on my Instagram.
Which you should follow, by the way, if you're not already.
This stuff is so elegant. This is elegance in a bottle for me, even down to the bottle itself. It's number 3 because it doesn't really scream winter for me. I know I'll be wearing it in the winter when I want to feel like myself. But in terms of, you know, the profile of the scent, there's others that are a little bit more wintry to me. But I'm just now noticing that the top 3 fragrances here also have a featured note of tobacco, which is a very wintry note in my opinion, that just so happened to turn out this way. So that's funny, I'm just noticing that. But this is the number 3 tobacco scent, I guess, on my list here. Really great stuff. If you've been sleeping on it, please do yourself a favor and at least go sniff it in the store. I'm not saying go blind buy it, not saying that at all. At least get your nose on it and then make the assessment for yourself. That's vintage. Number 2, I recently mentioned this in a video where I was talking about popular designer fragrances that I have gotten rid of, that I no longer own. You can check this video out here if you missed that. And one fragrance that made that list was Dolce & Gabbana's The One Eau de Toilette, which I used to own and I don't dislike. In fact, none of the fragrances on that list I necessarily dislike, but you gotta watch it to find out what's going on. But the reason why I don't own it anymore is because I replaced it with the Eau de Parfum, which I really enjoy, and I find this so versatile for a tobacco scent. I really wanted a fresh and easy to wear tobacco fragrance. And this is it, man. And this is fulfilling things that the Eau de Toilette did not fulfill. I thought I didn't need this, so I never smelled it. Like literally for years, I never even touched it until I decided to blind buy it. And I'm like, okay, why didn't I already have this? Silly. This is good stuff. Nothing new. But I think it's kind of timeless. This is kind of a classic. I don't see this scent profile going anywhere. Nothing smells exactly like this on the market. It's a special scent. It's going to be around for a while. Dolce & Gabbana's The One. At number 1, this is a fragrance that is kind of in the line of the Jean Paul Gaultier, the Ultra Male. Very sweet, very playful, but this one has a richness to it that speaks to me the most. I have a feeling I'll be wearing this a lot. I think most of the time when the sun goes down, maybe even during the day, I'll be reaching for this fragrance. Nothing new, but new to me. This is Azzaro Wanted by Night. And my first time really getting my hands on this bottle, I dig it. I wore this last night and I loved every minute of it. It lasted on my skin the whole night. I could smell it when I woke up the next morning. Tobacco, cinnamon, has a little bit of mandarin up top. I think there's even some lavender in there. When you open it up, it's fresh and aromatic, but it's sweet, it's rich, kind of spicy. Like I said, tobacco's in here. This is a direct improvement to the original Wanted in my opinion. I love this. I think I'm gonna be wearing the heck out of this fragrance. I find it pretty versatile. Even though it is pretty sweet, again, that richness, it has a little bit of both worlds. So you could kind of pull it off in a more elegant situation. I wouldn't maybe put on a suit and tie and pour this off, but I would, you know, I'm wearing a shirt tucked into some slacks. I might wear this because it comes off, how do I say this? It's almost distinguished in a way. It's like, that tobacco note, you know, but there's this playful and seductive nature to it because it is quite sweet. I'm talking too much about it, but I really enjoy this. I'm glad I finally have it. I was thinking about getting it for a long time. As soon as it came out, I finally pulled the trigger. That is Azzaro Wanted by Night. You know what time it is? Down in the comments, let me know what your top designer fragrance is for the winter. Let's talk about it. I want to know your number 1, without a question, your go-to. Try to think of it in the way that I structured my list. The one that you think you will wear the most, the absolute most. Now again, we can never truly know how things will transpire, what we'll reach for the most, but this is what I'm putting out into the universe. I'm putting out the vibe that I'm going to try to reach for this one the most, Wanted by Night. But all of these will get some touch here and there. I'll give them some play, and I plan to thoroughly enjoy them, and I want to know what you'll be enjoying as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. If you like the video, and would love to have you subscribe if you haven't already. Peace. I'll see you in the next one. Oh, before I go, I want to make one little announcement. I got a really fun and interesting video coming up at some point in the coming weeks. I don't know exactly when. I've been filming a vlog, and it was just going to be a one day in the life kind of thing, but it's turned into a several day endeavor where I'm just kind of going through a few different days of my life and all the events taking place. So I'm going to try to get that done and out to you at some point in the coming weeks. So if you want to check that out, if you want to get a little bit of a deeper scoop into the daily life of JC, then make sure you tune into the channel. All right, gotta go. Bye.